Last year, you and your household made less than $100,000 combined. How do I know this? Because in 2024, the average American household brought in just over $80,000. And I bet you're feeling the same pinch where every paycheck's gone before you even blink, and one surprise bill could send you into a panic. It can be scary. Your heart racing, you're checking your account, you're just praying that it's enough. But it's not your fault. You're caught in a money trap millions of people struggle with, but here's the hope that you need. This video gives you a simple 5-step plan to turn every paycheck into a tool for real wealth. Each step has a twist that you probably haven't thought of, so you're not going to want to miss one. Imagine the relief of bills paid, your savings are stacked, and a future with less stress and less fear. That's what I'm showing you step by step right now. And if this helps, please hit like and subscribe to help me reach my first 100 subscribers and to keep these videos and these tips coming. Like you, I'm trying to support my family and to get as much financial education out there as I can to those in need. With that, let's get started. Your money can do 5 things to stop you from being broke and build a life where retiring early isn't a dream, it's a plan. This isn't about get-rich-quick schemes or miracles. This is personal finance done right. Budgeting 101 that works whether you're earning $18 an hour or $90,000 a year. And these 5 steps will transform how you handle every single paycheck. It's going to be able to give you more control and a path to wealth. So let's start with step 1. Step 1 is building an emergency fund. Now you absolutely need an emergency fund. It's not sexy, but it's your financial lifeline. And without it, a car repair, a medical bill, a job loss can quickly derail you and your financial progress. So your goal, at least initially, is to get $1,000 in savings as fast as possible. That's going to be your shield for smart choices, not panic when life hits. It's one of the biggest money mistakes to avoid in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. I coached a woman making $115,000 who had nothing saved due to impulse buying that she could not help herself. And when a $700 vet bill sent her into more credit card debt than she already was, and stress led to more missed payments, everything became worse. Guys, that's financial illiteracy 101. There's no safety net. So here's how to hit $1,000 fast. You're going to start by opening a high yield savings account. It earns more interest than a regular one. You're going to automate $100 per paycheck, or more if you can. Speed's the key here. So sell stuff if you need to. That old phone, unused sneakers that, let's be real, you're not going to wear anytime soon. Or maybe that dusty bike sitting in the garage. So if you had to raise $500 by this weekend to avoid disaster, you'd find a way. You'd sell enough for $500 in days. And with $100 extra per paycheck, you're going to be at $1,000 in just a matter of 3 months. And that's peace of mind, not just gambling with your future. You'll also be ahead of most Americans who can't cover a $400 emergency. And that's why it's crucial to have this in place. You've got to have an emergency fund. Grandma was definitely right. Save it up, rainy day fund, set it aside, don't touch it. Step number 2 is where we find your financial baseline, where we lock in your needs, your housing, your food, your utilities, and insurance, so that your foundation is solid. So let's say your take-home pay is $6,200 a month. Keep housing under 30% if you can. I know it's hard in this day, but that's about $1,860 on a $6,200 budget. Food at 10%, it's $620. Cooking saves big. And utilities insurance, that's also hopefully around 10%, another $620. This leaves you with about $3,100 to work with. And guys, if your rent is $2,500 right now and you're struggling because you feel overstretched, it's because you are. And that's where 95% of people mess up, is that they overcommit to housing or renting and they leave nothing in their budget for wealth building. Rent's tough, I get it, but if you've got options. And that's why it's important to audit your spending, to check your bank statements, highlight every expense, kind of see what's going on. Maybe move to a cheaper place, even temporarily, like a smaller apartment or even with a roommate. It's not ideal and it doesn't have to be permanent. You can also cook more, spend $50 on groceries and go see how long you can make that last. Make a game out of it. Bundle car or renter's insurance to save. That's helped me. This isn't about losing joy. It's more about control. I think it was Jeremy that I heard it from. Jeremy Financial Education says, know your numbers or your numbers will own you. That's budgeting done right. Nail this and your paycheck is going to work for you. All right, on to step number 3. Step number 3 is a game changer because you don't need to gut your entire lifestyle to build wealth. So forget slashing every joy or going hardcore on your budgets that inevitably are going to fail. Personal finance is about the compound effect, taking making tiny paycheck tweaks that snowball into a fortune. So step number 3 is looking at your wants versus your needs. And this is where most people get derailed. So your needs are the essentials. Again, the housing, food, utilities, insurance. The wants are the extras, like the $15 a day coffee, $200 sneakers, frequent Uber Eats, expenses. Spending $30 a day on Uber Eats is $900 a month. That's almost $11,000 a year. That $11,000 could fund your emergency fund, at least the starter emergency fund. It could tackle debt. It could invest for your future. Now, I'm not saying ditch the takeout, don't buy the sneakers, don't buy the coffee. Life's too short. But you should also know that every single dollar that you have on a want could grow in something like a stock market. There's an opportunity cost, or in real estate if that's your thing. I worked with someone who was absolutely hooked on Uber Eats. She was ordering 7 days a week, spending about $60 a day, and she knew that it wasn't really serving her, but quitting cold turkey felt impossible. So instead of dropping 7 days a week, we dropped to 6 days a week and we skipped Fridays. That saved $60 a week, $240 a month, painless, right? After a month, she didn't really miss it. That was the fun part of it. Cooking one night out felt empowering. By month 2, she skipped Fridays and Mondays, saving $120 a week, almost $500 a month. And by month 5, she was at 2 days a week, saving $1,800 a month. The crazy thing is, if she automates that $1,800 into something like a stock market that has a historical return of about 8%, in 30 years, it's worth about $2.5 million. And that's from cutting back takeout, but not quitting it entirely. Just a small change that compounds over time. And the reason I love the compound effect is because it teaches you that tiny wins rewire your brain, making each step easier. Unlike brutal budgets that you quit, this actually sticks. And most people are not saving enough for their goals, so you can be the exception. So pick one want and cut it back slightly. If you spend $15 a day on coffee, brew it at home 1 day a week. You save about $56 a month, or drop Uber Eats from 5 days to 4 if that's your thing. Saving $60 a week, $120 a month. And the important thing is that you automate that into a high yield savings account or Vanguard, Schwab, Fidelity, just somewhere where you're not going to have access to it, that you're not going to touch it, that you're not going to see it. Tracking is also crucial. Whether you use an app like YNAB or EveryDollar, you need to be able to track your progress and see what's working and what wasn't. Even if it's just a pen and paper and a notepad or Google Sheets, if that's your thing, tracking is your budget compass. And seeing $100 a paycheck become $500 in 3 months will fire you up, I promise. And I love this book so much that I'm willing to give away 2 copies to anybody who comments the word compound below. It really helps me out just to get some comments, and I want to be able to get this in your hands because this flipped my mindset on small wins, turning paychecks into wealth, not takeout orders. Step number 4, we're going to be looking at tackling your debt. And guys, debt is a leech that drains your paycheck. It makes retiring early a distant dream. So what we're going to do is we're going to list your debts. We're going to list the amount that you owe and the interest rate, or the APR. So let's just say we've got a $30,000 credit card at 21% interest. We've got a $5,000 car loan at 8% interest, and we've got a $50,000 student loan at 7%. So there's 2 options that we can look at in order to crush these debts. So the first is going to be the avalanche method, and that's where you pay off your high interest debt first. So in this case, we'd start off with the 21% interest credit card. And financially, it is the smartest. It makes the most sense. But here's the thing. Debt's not just a math problem. It's a human behavior problem. And that's why I love the debt snowball, where you actually start with the smallest debt. It's going to be a $5,000 car loan. So let's say you've got a $100 minimum on your car payment. You have an extra $300 in your budget. So you're going to take the extra $300, throw it on the minimum of the car payment because that's your smallest balance. And then you pay minimums on the rest for all the others. So let's say you've got a $900 minimum credit card payment, a $550 for the student loan. Well, in 14 months, the car loan's gone. That win is going to fuel you. And you're going to take that $400 that you had towards the car with the extra into the credit card's $900. And now you're paying $1,300 a month to clear that in just 26 months. Then you're going to add the $1,300 to the student loan's $550 a month minimum, wiping out that $50,000 in the next 36 months. And again, the important thing is to automate these payments to avoid temptation. Also, if you can chart progress and you can actually see that debt going down over time, it is so motivating. Guys, I've coached people who have paid off $25,000 in debt in 5 months. They started with this exact method, and they started out by wiping out a $1,500 minimum credit card payment, and that made them feel unstoppable. So that's step number 4, wiping out that debt. Step number 5, and this is kind of where we get into the fun part, where you're actually going to be multiplying your money. Now saving is good, but cash in a checking account loses value every single year to inflation, right? And your money needs to grow. So if you've already got an emergency fund fully built out, you've cut some of those wants that you have in your life, you've paid off your debt, at least everything except the house, you're ready to invest. So I want you to take $100, $500, $1,000 a month, whatever you can, and just commit. Even if it's as little as $5, just get that habit going. Again, compound effect of actually starting to invest and creating that habit that will build you wealth. Start with a 401k or an IRA at $100 a month. After 30 years with an 8% return, you could have up to $150,000. At $500 a month, it's $750,000 at that same rate. If you could invest $1,000 a month, that's nearly $1.5 million, assuming an 8% rate of return. Or if real estate is your thing, save up for a rental property. Rent covers the cost, and in 15 to 20 years, it's paid off, generating you income. And again, the important thing though is just to automate everything. Automate all of these so you don't even have to think about it, whether it's your 401k, your IRA, or your savings. The day that your paycheck hits, that's crucial. You don't miss what you don't see, and small wins are gonna keep you going. But whatever you do, don't let your money sit. You've got to invest it, and invest consistently. Time is going to build your future, and that's why I love step number 5. Now, bottom line, wealth isn't about your income. It's about what you do with every single paycheck. That's why we looked at building an emergency fund so that you can prepare for those rainy days. We locked in your baseline for needs. We tweaked wants to free up cash flow for your future. We crushed debt with a plan. And step 5, we looked at multiplying your money through investing. And if you're ready, not next week, not next month, not next year, but right now, to get on track with your finances, I want you to consider joining our Financial Independence School. It's completely free, and I will guide you through budgeting, investing, and money mistakes that I commonly see that you can avoid. You'll get tools, a community, and a plan, and you can click the link below to join. And if this helped, I would love it if you would drop a comment, a like, or subscribe so that I can keep sharing tips. And I want you to know that you're just one decision from financial freedom. So let's make that today. We'll see you next time.